So you just got your real estate license, it's your first week in the industry, and you're not sure where to go from here? Well, stick with me, and today we'll cover the 5 tips that you should be worrying about in your first week. If you guys are looking for real estate information, real estate guides, and it's your first time here, I'm encouraging you to subscribe to this channel. I release new content every single week on tips and tricks for new agents. So before we get started on the 5 tips, who am I? Well, my name is Marty. Thank you for stopping by. I've been in the real estate industry for about 15 years. And over those 15 years, I've had every single job that you could have in real estate. I started off as somebody's administrative assistant. I worked as a receptionist at an office. I worked as a buyer agent, a team leader, a high-performing team leader, high-performing solo agent, and now I love coaching agents. I've had the opportunity to coach lots of agents over the years, and I've had the opportunity to document who's been doing well and who unfortunately did not do well, and I've identified 5 of the top things that the ones that do well do when they get their real estate career off the ground. Let's get started. Number 1 is be okay with not being perfect. Now, it's not something you could just check off a box. It's not something that goes well into a checklist, Don't be a perfectionist. But it's more of an attitude that I want you to take on. I can remember when I started in real estate, my team leader at the time said, "Hey, why don't you go out and door knock?" And I said, "Yeah, that sounds like a good idea." So I went and I drove to the street that I wanted to door knock. I got there. It was 2006, 2007, and I had a Palm Pilot. It's an old smartphone. And I looked at the door. I said, I'm just going to play some Bejeweled on my phone for a bit before going and knocking on that door. I ended up sitting there and playing Bejeweled for something like 2 hours. I did not end up going door knocking. I did not walk up to that door. And I was afraid. I was afraid that when the door would be answered, I wouldn't know what to say. I did not have any experience. I had never sold a house. I was afraid that the client would ask me, how many houses have you sold? Well, I'd have to tell her that 0 because I've never sold anything. So I ended up giving up, driving back to the office. And I was pretty depressed about that experience. I was so worried about, not being perfect that I just ended up not acting. But the next day came around and for whatever reason, I just got, the courage to go back and to go door knock. I parked my car and I walked out and I walked up to that front door. I knocked on the door. A lady opens up the door and she says, "Yes, can I help you?" I said, "I'm Marty. We've signed a few new listings in the area and we're looking for our next listing client." She says, "Hold on a second. I'm going to go get my husband." And she goes, she gets her husband, and I'm like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble here, right? Because he's gonna come at the door, he's gonna cuss me out, he's gonna be angry with me, and he comes back to the front door and he says, "How did you know that we wanted to list our house?" It's like, it's a miracle that you're here. We were just talking about selling the property last night. So long story short, I ended up getting a listing that way. And the story, it serves its purpose here to make you understand that I was nowhere near perfect. And the day before, I hadn't acted because I was fearful of not being perfect. And you're going to miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So even if you're not 100% ready, just go out there. Understand that you're going to get better with time. And it's a lesson that, it's hard to teach because it's very personal. Everybody's got their own reasons for being, insecure or not having the confidence that they need. But it's cool, man. Everybody starts at the same spot. Everybody's brand new. So just be okay with not being perfect. Tip number 2 for your first week in real estate: get comfortable with the paperwork. I mean, it's the tool that we have to buy or sell real estate. Get comfortable with the listing agreement. It's the tool that we have to list properties. If you're a carpenter, you have to be comfortable with your hammer. You have to be comfortable with your saw and your measuring tape. Well, you're a real estate agent. You need to get comfortable with all the paperwork. Now, most brokerages out there will have mandatory courses on, how to file paperwork, what paperwork to submit with a specific deal. And I'm encouraging you to go do those courses. It's your first week in real estate. If your brokerage isn't offering it, your local board probably is offering something like that. I want you to get comfortable with the agreement of purchase and sale in your state or province and get comfortable with the listing agreement, because there's a certain superpower that comes with knowing what paperwork to use, and being a few steps ahead of the client really, really helps. If you want to maybe partner up with somebody that started out in the industry at the same time as you, or maybe a few months ahead, and exchange writing up mock offers, right? Imagine a client, you're representing a client, you're sending it to your colleague, he's representing a seller, all make believe, but those exercises can serve a big purpose in getting your level of comfortableness on the agreement to a level that is good to work with buyers and sellers. So do that. Get comfortable with all the paperwork that you'll need to work with, whether that's working with buyers or sellers. Number 3, pick a goal for the year. I know this might sound super simple, but I've coached enough new agents to know that a lot of new agents out there, when I ask them how much money they want to make this year, they give me the answer, as much money as possible. I really don't like that answer. Just set a goal. If you don't want to, narrow it down to how much money you want to make in a full year, maybe narrow it down to how much money you want to make in the next 6 months. But having a target serves a purpose. Having a target sort of gives you feedback on what type of level of activity you should be doing in order to get the results that you want. Because the last thing you want is for this industry to take over every minute of your life. You want to know, how much money am I trying to make this month? How many properties am I trying to sell? And then reverse engineer those numbers into the level of activities that you should be putting into place to hit those numbers. If you're interested more on this subject, I suggest that you go check out my video called The Economic Model that I put on my channel a few months ago. It's really going to help you a lot figuring out the activities that you need to put in, day out. Tip number 4, be proactive and not reactive. When you're in the real estate industry, you're in the customer service industry, and a lot of people's demands will be put on you. You'll get emails from clients, from prospects. Hey, can you figure out information here? I need to know what the listing price is here. Can you tell me what that property sold for? When are these guys looking to close? On and on and on. All that stuff is great. It's great customer service, don't get me wrong, to get back to your clients, but I want you to set your schedule for what's important for you. You're getting into real estate, great job. You got your license, that's awesome. There's other things that are going well in your life right now, and I don't want those things to suffer at the expense of your real estate career. If you've got a good habit of going to the gym, of eating well, doing meal prep, block those in your schedule first. Block those times, preferably in the morning, because real estate has a tendency to get busier and busier as the day goes on. Try to outline a morning that really takes care of you. I want you to take care of your family. If you've got kids, obviously, book an evening or a day with them. Any type of time that you could block in your schedule so that you're spending time with your kids, your spouse, your family members that you want to spend time with. Even by booking those times in your schedule, the vast majority of your week is still open for real estate. If you want to go out there and work 60 hours a week, you can do that. But I want you to take care of the important stuff first. Your health, your diet, your family relationships, your kids, all that stuff is more important. So book those in your calendar first. Be proactive about it and don't react to everybody's demands before you take care of yourself. And if you want more information on this subject, I also did another video on time blocking. You should check that one out. And number 5, the last thing you should do is pick a lane. What I mean by that is just pick a few lead generation tactics that you would like to put into place. There's 1,000 different ways to generate leads in real estate. And I'm encouraging you to go experience with a few of these, Figure out which ones work, which ones don't work, which ones you enjoy, which ones you don't enjoy. For me, I've built a business on repeat and referral, and obviously, I did have to write a lot of transactions to build up that database in order to get those repeat and referrals business. But whatever you choose to do, I'm going to encourage you that you choose maybe 1, 2, or 3 at the most strategies to do every single week. So if you want to do a bit of door knocking, that's good. Cold calling, you want to call your sphere. If you want, more different ways to generate leads, you can go check on my channel. I've got a bunch of different ways to generate leads there, and just stick to a few ideas, because if you're always chasing that new fancy idea of how to generate leads, then you're going to be faced with the problem of just not putting in the time to get any results from any of the tactics. So the point I'm trying to get across here is stick with one lead generation tactic, 2 or 3 at the most, and just try it out for a while. See if it works. If it doesn't work, maybe you experiment with something else next week, but I want you to pick a lane. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. It was an absolute pleasure putting this together for you. If you find yourself wondering, what am I going to do from now on, week number 2, 3, 4, 5, well, I've got some good news for you. I put together a course called Foundations, Your First 5 Weeks in Real Estate Sales. This course is packed with good stuff, packed with all the habits you'll need to put into place as foundations of your real estate career. We've got time management skills that you need to put into place. We've got over 30 different lead generation tactics, how to set a proper goal for yourself, how to manage your mindset. Tons and tons of good stuff in that course. I'm excited for you guys to go and check that out. If you guys go and click on the link in the description of this video, what I'll do is I'll put a 25% discount for the first 20 people that buy this course. I'm really excited for you guys to learn on that course. It's really, really good. All right, that'll be it for me this week. As always, if you find this information useful, leave a like. If you know anybody that might find this useful, share it with them. And if you have any questions, leave a comment in the section below, and it'll be my pleasure to start a conversation with you there. Okay, we'll see you next week. Ciao.